Hello everyone, this is Fantastic Worlds, welcoming you back to Lovecraft Country and Cultist Simulator Tips and Tricks Live. Of course, as promised, we hit the 250 subscribers, so this is my first live episode doing the Darkest Dungeon Tips and Tricks, which means that if you happen to be listening to me live on Twitch, you'll be able to ask me questions as I go. But one of the reasons I'm doing this series is that Darkest Dungeon is a lovely little game that combines, shall we say, Lovecraftian horror, Dungeons & Dragons, and a little twist of XCOM for extremely hard strategy. And like XCOM, it does not hold a new person's hand. Instead, you're thrust into the mix trying to figure out what to do, and sometimes that can be overwhelming for new players. So like with the Cultist Simulator series I am doing this series in order to be able to help new players along. Now, it's going to be kind of interesting because, of course, I have my own style of play. Other people may have other styles, but see, I find this one kind of works for me. So, but to get everybody on the same page about what's going on, I am going to go start the intro cinematic. Come on. There we go. And so thank you. So you can understand what's going on in this game. Basically, a rich person got bored and unleashed Cthulhu. But here's the more detailed response.
Ruin has come to our family. You remember our venerable house? Opulent and imperial, gazing proudly from its stoic perch above the moor. I lived all my years in that ancient, rumor-shadowed manor, fattened by decadence and luxury. And yet I began to tire of conventional extravagance. Singular, unsettling tales suggested the mansion itself was a gateway to some fabulous and unnameable power. With relic and ritual, I bent every effort towards the excavation and recovery of those long-buried secrets, exhausting what remained of our family fortune on swarthy workmen and sturdy shovels. At last, in the salt-soaked crags beneath the lowest foundations, we unearthed that damnable portal of antediluvian evil. Our every step unsettled the ancient earth. But we were in a realm of death and madness. In the end, I alone fled laughing and wailing through those blackened arcades of antiquity, until consciousness failed me. You remember our venerable house, opulent and imperial. It is a festering abomination. I beg you, return home, claim your birthright, and deliver our family from the ravenous, clutching shadows of the darkest dungeon.
Okay, with that particular... hang on. With that particular, eventful intro, let's get into the game. Now, as you can see, I've been practicing. I'm a little rusty, so I might not... It took me a little while to get back into the game, but I think I've got my groove back, so to speak. So, what we're going to do is we're going to do a Radiant run, which is, of course, an easier run, simply because it'd be easier for me to show you the strategies if I'm struggling less. Trust me, I usually stick it on Stygian, but this is for you guys. Darkest Tips and Tricks. All right, let's hit it.
You will arrive along the old road. It winds with a troubling serpent-like suggestion through the corrupted countryside. Leading only, I fear, to ever more tenebrous places. There is a sickness in the ancient pitted cobbles of the old road, and on its writhing path you will face viciousness, violence, and perhaps other damnably transcendent terrors. So steel yourself, and remember there can be no bravery without madness. The old road will take you to hell, but in that gaping abyss, we will find our redemption.
Cool way. If you play the game and come around to New Game Plus, there is a interesting hidden couple of images in there that respond to the greater meta story. But let's concentrate on what we've got. The old road. With the stagecoach destroyed and the caretaker gone, you will have to hand travel journey to the hamlet on foot. Now, this is what happens when you spend all of your money on unearthing an unhellish portal and not on road maintenance. Seriously. This is better for everybody. Oh my god, what happened to my screen? Hang on. For some reason I changed. Alright. Map navigation. You're currently in a room. Sort of. It's kind of outside. All things are considered rooms for this game. Click on another room in the map display. This will take you to the connecting hallway. Alright, so let me douse the volume a little, and let's get into how the game is played. Now, first of all, this is your primary action screen, in which your party of 4, usually 4, you only start with 2, enter here and move from left to right, from room to room, until they get to rooms and they do particular battles and such. Now, here you start with your 2 characters, Reynard and Dismas. These are basically the bodyguards of the heir that you're playing. Now, the heir does not actually have an in-universe character. You're just kind of the unseen presence that's directing things, which, you know, if you don't think about it too hard. Anyways, so let's talk about how the characters work. Okay. As you can see, this is your standard character sheet. What it's going to do is it's going to show you the basics of how you play the game. Now, first of all, your name and your class. Each class has a certain amount of abilities, some of which you start with and some of which can be unlocked with training. Now, the biggest thing about this game in combat is called the preferred position and the preferred target. All of these abilities, as you look at them, have on the left side yellow dots, if they're offensive, on the right side red dots. This refers to at what position you can use the ability. In this case, position 1, which is considered all the way on the right because essentially it's the front, and position 2. And on the right hand side are the targets of that ability. In that case, anyone in the front 2 of the enemy. Now, over here in Zealous Accusation, you'll notice that the 2 dots are linked. That means that ability affects both the individuals in position 1 and position 2. As you can see, this one's Stunning Blow and Bulwark of Faith. This is a defensive ability, by the way, that gives you the can you work in the first 2 that affects only him, so therefore there is no target. Now, let's see, Battle Heal, Holy Lance, and Inspiring Cry. These will all unlock later. We'll deal with it later. On the left-hand side is one of the game's happiest, as we say, parts, the quirks. The ones on the left are positive. They give you certain conditional advantages. In this case, the Warrior of Light means that Reynard will do 10% more damage if the torch is above 75. This is the torch. Now, the torch indicates your current light level. Now, the deal is that each one of these bars, 25%, confers a different status. In other words, this is radiant, that's normal, that's dark, this is completely out. The more the light is on, the more advantages that you have, the dodging, scouting, and surprising monsters. However, the more light there is, the less reward you get for destroying the monsters, and the less crits either side gets. So it's a balance. Some people like to do a torchless run for briefly to increase the money to get really good money. It's not a huge tactic for me. I'll probably just dump it in Antiquarian for that. But let's deal with the negative quirks. God-fearing. In town will only pray for stress relief. Now, this is where the big problems are for your characters. You see, stress is actually this mechanic of sanity, which they have in the Call of Cthulhu game, which is kind of spread out from there, in that your character will increase stress just by going through dungeons, by certain attacks, by getting critically hit, and once you hit 100, your character might break, and once you hit 200 stress, your character drops dead of a heart attack. When you get into town, there are certain actions you can take that will relieve your stress, but some quirks will prevent you from doing other types of stress. In this case, the stress relief can only come through praying, which is only one of the 6 stress release abilities. Kleptomaniac is prone to stealing items, which means he'll steal them from your character. Basically, if he decides to steal an item, you don't get it. Or money, you don't get it. Now, this is different in the curious one, which basically means that they can't stop themselves from searching potentially trapped areas. Frankly, Kleptomaniac is the #1 on my list for getting rid of, and the stress relief is getting that. So, yeah, Renard is going to add that. Renard is going to end up going through a little brain surgery to get rid of these two. In any case, of course, one of the other things we can do is we can rename the character. Come on. Ugh. I remember how. Ah, there it is. So if anybody out there actually wants to name one, feel free. Yeah, he's a bit of a tank being a crusader, so I kind of get a little nuts about him. Highwayman. Now, the great part about the Highwayman's class is that it is, in fact, one of the most versatile attack ones. He's capable of doing ranged bleed attacks. I'll go over bleed later. And ranged bleed attacks, and can even tank briefly if he's pushed into the wrong position. Now, under his current abilities are Pistol Shot, as you see, he can fire from the back 3, but not the front, at any of the back 3 of the enemy. Over here on the Grape Shot Blast, you see that they've got the linked lines, which means that his shot will in fact target the first 3 enemies. This is the Tracking Shot, which allows him to shoot a stealth enemy, and gives him a boost to his abilities. Damage ACC, by the way, is accuracy and critical, and open vein, which gives him bleed ability. Going over the idea of what this is, bleed is damage over times. 2 points of damage for every round, 3 rounds. Now, this is going to be your godsend when it comes to dealing with some of the bigger enemies that can just absorb damage like crazy. You can bleed them out and have them die on their own turn. Now, under abilities, of course, there's hit points. Anybody who's done a role-playing game knows what a hit point is. Dodge, which is essentially your armor class, how often you'll get hit. Protection, which is a nebulous ability to absorb more damage and then be able to handle hits better. Accuracy, modifier, nothing. Critical chance, doing more damage, basic damage, and your speed. Speed, of course, is the lifeblood of this game, because if you go first and you do your damage, you can kill your other target first. A lot of magic items you can equip later in the game, they will actually slow you down a lot, and I refuse to use them because speed is life in this game. The other thing that is life, well, we'll get into that when we get to that. Hard Noggin, plus 15% resisting the stun effect. Yep, the stun effects too, plus quick reflexes, plus 2 speed. God's sakes, I love characters with more speed. Known cheat, not allowed to gamble in town, do not really care that much. So, that being said, the damage you do is based, of course, on what weapons you have. Now, you start with the base 1 weapon. You can see that's classified as level 1, which has 5 to 10 damage, and the Worn Overcoat, which has a dodge base of 10. Basically, like Dungeons & Dragons originally, all of your protection for being hit is your armor. So basically, you're dodging by having heavier armor. Don't think about it too much. Yeah, so you see the Rusty Harpic is a base 10 dodge, and that is also where all your hit points come from, because apparently your flesh is just too weak to take in a single hit. Battered Longsword, these are all the basic weapons. But let's get to the actual mechanics. You'll notice, by the way, we have 2 food, which is not important in this game. But yeah, in order to move from one place to another, you have to hit that room.
Have run up these lanes. Keep to the side path. The hamlet is just ahead.
When in the hallway, move press to D forward, A to move back. If you move back, by the way, you'll get additional stress, unless you have a particular quirk. If you prefer the mouse, you can click ahead or behind the party to move them. I can prefer the mouse. There we go. We've already started to accumulate stress of 3 points just by walking through a dark forest. Alright, so... No. Okay, combat is turn-based. On your hero's turn, click a skill icon, then click on a highlighted target. If you can't select a particular skill, it's because that hero needs to be standing in a different spot or there are no valid targets. Mouse over to see the requirements. Yep. Basically, it tells you right here, it's a quick thing. So you have ACC base and damage modifiers. We'll go over there in more detail later, but for the moment, let's just slit this guy's wrists. There we go. Ah. And of course, being the meat shield... We'll go into more detail on the enemy types later, but that's just a basic thug with a couple knives. Each item, if you take it, will occupy space in your inventory. Oh god, inventory-based games are awful sometimes. When you come right down to it, a lot of times you're going to find yourself... throwing away, trying to figure out what to throw away and what to keep. Basically, a lot of times it's like the money or the jewels. Which one's going to do so? Jewels are kind of a pain because each different type of jewel is a different category. Anyways, alright, so yeah, we find 50 gold in his pocket, and the gold starts occupying space number 2. Now, we have no torches, by the way, so the light's just going to go down. But anyways, interactive objects, curios. In exploring, you can find interactive objects. Click and press W to investigate them. Now, it's not always a good idea to do so, but I honestly will pick the person with the best trap to look at these things, because some of them produce negative effects, but I tend to take the person with the biggest trap resistance. Alright, boom. Citrine. And this is how we go from room to room. Just click on that. Alright.
Send these vermin a message. The rightful owner has returned, and their kind is no longer welcome.
As you notice, if you mouse over the enemies, it'll give you a basic listing of what they are, how many hit points they have, their type is human, which is important to certain types of quirks and weapons, weapons and abilities, and they have a dodge and speed, which is pretty low. Now you notice it also shows the resistance, which means 50% stun, 20% against blight, 20% against bleed, 15 against buff, and 25 against move. He's a pig boy. As you can see, the Fusilier is much faster, can dodge, and has lower resistance, less hit points. So you have to decide which target you're going for. Usually, I will choose to wipe out the smaller targets first and stun the larger ones, but I also will bleed the larger ones. So therefore, they start taking damage over time. Now, I'm going to go to Stunning Blow on him. We'll take a... Oh, didn't stun him. Ow. There's the 2 points of bleed damage. Oh, he has a gun, too. Forgot about that. Alright. Now, we have a choice here. Most of his abilities will no longer operate in position 1, which means either A, I can try move him back and waste his turn, or B, I can take what little abilities I have here. Now, in this situation, I was going to bleed him anyways, so... And now the bleeding stacks. And we're just going to beat on him. Yeah, the guy in the back is doing so little damage, I'm not that concerned. Yeah, but this guy can do stress damage, which of course accumulates. You'll notice the stress bar is starting to load. Oh, and he's got a bleed on him too, but it's not significant. There we go. Corpses. When most monsters die, they leave corpses. Corpses act as temporary obstacles and will eventually go away on their own. You can attack corpses to destroy them faster, but often a better approach is to use range skills, push pill skills, and even corpse clearing special skills that some heroes possess. Monsters killed with bleed, blight, or crits leave no corpses at all. That's another reason why you do damage over time. Alright, so... I'm going to have to adjust the sound here. I don't want to fight against my own sound effects. Alright. Ooh, sorry. Misclick. Yes, bodies still bleed. It's weird. Ooh. Let's move back. So we can get the gun out again. Yeah, blunderbusses are not really... Okay. Now I believe that... Yeah, we're going to kill the body. Little weird, mind you, but hey. Ugh. Well, the meat shield's doing his job. Ooh. Little sneaky bastard. Alright. Smite your ass. Ugh. Ow. There's the stress. Dude, Dismas is doing all the goddamn work here. After you complete a request, you have the option to return to town. Just click the crest. If you don't, need to return to the starting point of the dungeon to exit. So we can bail at any time, but sometimes I will stay in a dungeon to clean it out with more stuff, even after I've completed the primary mission. Now we're going to continue adventuring because I want to know what's in that chest. Well, basically a trap. Anyways, let's go. You get the 5,000 just for that. What we collected, the food, gold, the citrine, and the bandages, so they can all be cashed back in. Unused store items that you brought with you can be brought back for a small refund, not a lot. And heirlooms, we'll get into that, but these are how you build in your this is how you build additional upgrades to your town. Yep, we got a building thing here too. Yep, we've gone up to level 1 apprentice from 0 for Meat Shield and Dismas, but they have not gained any special abilities or problems. And the Hamlet, we'll be spending a lot of time. Gonna have to build this place back up again.
Welcome home, such as it is. This squalid hamlet, these corrupted lands, they are yours now, and you are bound to them.
Oh, that's depressing. Activity log, week 1, the ruins has been unlocked. There's basically the dungeon type that we can get to. There are 4 of them. Dismas is now an apprentice hinterman, Meat Shield is an apprentice crusader, and they successfully escorted us to the Hamlet. Now these are the quest goals. We have to complete our first foray in the ruins, defeat the necromancer, prophet, necromancer. Yeah, I can see our to-do list is kinda huge, as well as the side ones. Have to get level 6 is maximum, by the way. And this is our roster, Meat Shield and Dumas. As you can see, we instantly heal all wounds when we get back, but our stress stays, so we're going to have to deal with that. And we'll be dealing with these two. Alright, and welcome to Home Sweet Home. Yeah. Get help where you may. On screen, press H to contextual help. I got most of that. Anyways. Now, any place where the exclamation point has been basically unlocked to us, we can shop, view our memories, which is...
Tragic extent of my failings.
Yep, this is the story. You basically can unlock these ones as you defeat individuals. So let's deal with the graveyard. We'll hopefully not be...
We'll end up here, covered in the poisoned earth, awaiting merciful oblivion.
Yeah, you're a depressing individual. So yeah. And stagecoach. We're going to be doing a lot of places here.
Men, soldiers and outlaws, fools and corpses. All will find their way to us now that the road is clear.
How did the corpses are coming here? Okay, zombie apocalypse, I'll accept. Just grab these two.
Than the blood-soaked battlefield.
Okay, so let's talk about upgrading. You press this to upgrade, and it's important that you're only going to have a number of upgrades available to you during the entire game. Now, in this case, what you're going to want is the Stagecoach Network, which increases the number of recruits available for hire. As you see, we started with 2, but this is an issue. You see, most people, when they come back from an adventure, are going to be unable to go out again due to the stress levels or having quirks you need to desperately get rid of. So your best bet is to have 4 for being your Stagecoach Network, because this allows you to basically create an entire party again for the new if you have a total party kill. All right.
Word is traveling. Ambition is stirring in distant cities.
All right, so we brought up to 3. Barracks, of course, is the number we can have in the roster. This isn't an issue. We only have 4. We only get number 3, so we save this upgrade. Experienced recruits. Basically, higher level recruits. We're going to need to do this. First, we need quantity, 4. Then we need quality, higher levels. And of course, as we go, I'll probably at least bring the hero barracks up to 24. So I can have 1 of each plus my usual Vestals. Okay. These are the other ones. You're going to automatically start with the Plague Doctor and a Vestal when you start off with, which is a good beginning, but not great. A lot of times what happens is that you're going to find the balances that work for you. Now the Plague Doctor is a healer, but he's more of a healer of status attacks. Basically, if you notice, he has a Plague Grenade, which allows him to basically put diseases on people and kill them. He has Incision, which basically he cuts and makes people bleed. He's got Battlefield Medicine, which is his primary defensive, supportive ability he'll be using constantly. It only heals 1 point of damage to the critical, but it gets rid of both Blight and Bleed, which is good. Now, I don't use the Plague Doctor a lot simply because of the fact that Blight and Bleed aren't that dangerous unless they really stack on you. You can usually just keep healing the damage, but he's there. Besides, I like the Blight ability. Blight is actually more dangerous. And in building vapors, buffing your target, 20% damage, and that beautiful speed. You can only do it twice per battle, but if you can upgrade your meat shield, there's usually a depressingly low speed of 1 here, to be more useful. The camping skills we'll get into when they become effective. All right, but you notice he has natural eyes, plus 5% range skills, but, you know, okay. It means his grenades are more likely, and plus 15% bleed resist with colors. And he's also afraid of the dark, which is probably not the best kind of speed 7, protection, hit points, yep. Pretty average. Now, you're going to be seeing a lot of her and her type. Ramses Vestals. The Vestals are the clerics. That's all there is. They heal and they do the occasional blast of holy energy to nick something. So quick reflexes plus 2 speed. I love that. 20% less stress in Cove, which is good. Sickly. Minus 10% resistance. Not good. Fear of Unholy. You're going to be going through a lot of skeletons. So this is the first... well, Kleptomaniac comes first, then Fear of Unholy. But as you can see, she has Judgment and Dazzling Light, which is a which damages people with the power of God or goddess, depends on who she works for, and Dazzling Light, which stuns people. Also heal one person, heal the party. These are going to be essential to keeping your party alive. In fact, I put a Vestal in every single party just because because my strategy is that of, well, the American Navy in World War II. See, back in in World War II, the Americans had less ships, but they were more able to absorb damage than the Japanese. This is the Pacific I'm talking about, obviously. So what happened is endurance became the big thing. Any Japanese ship that was damaged had to go back to port, or in this case, the hamlet, to fix. Otherwise, but the Americans could repair, replenish, and good grief, do not get annoyingly fast. Oh, good. Yeah, the game's pushing me to go forward. As you can see, we got a lot of stuff we need to unlock. There is the shop, by the way, but I have no intention of...
charms gathered from all the forgotten corners of the earth.
Get your stuff over with there, boy. All right, so the biggest thing about that is that I don't usually buy things at the shop. We're going to be deluged in special gear at some point, and I'm going to sell most of it because most of it is not that good. In any case, yes, the characters are getting a little nuts. Your ability to absorb damage and keep going on the fly is going to be it, and the best heal you have is her. Basically, the occultist, the doctor, the antiquarian, these are all our secondary healers. You want your primary one. But let's do what the poor guy wants us to do. All right.
Madness and morbidity. Your work begins.
Okay, with that little pep talk. Anyways, Mecca of Madness, which basically means this is Earth, because Mecca is a city in the Middle East. Some people don't even think about the implications of the language. Anyways, quests and parties. You select a quest and form an adventuring party of 4 heroes to embark on it. Click on quest to see their details. Drag heroes into slots to form your party order. Okay, basic rule. Healer in the back, ranged in the front. Usual suspects refers to the fact that this is your first party. It's mandatory. And what I call the float in the position 3. Basically, a person with multiple support abilities and the occasional attack. Now, as you can see, we have one mission, the Ruins. Scout, treat yourself to the mad realm of your fallen ancestor. Take note of how the creatures have taken over, but don't delve too far. Explore 90% of the rooms, essentially all rooms but one, unless you've got over 10 rooms, which is not going to be in a short campaign. Now, this indicates that there's no point to camp. We can camp. We'll go into camping when it gets important. Rewards, this is what you get when you go through. A debuff stone, which has a -1 speed, which means I'm just going to sell the damn thing, probably for 750. A crest, which is down here, what you use to help upgrade buildings. You're going to be drowning in crests, by the way, to the point where I wish you could sell the damn things, because the limiting factor will be the other heirlooms. And gold, straight up cash. Cash is the lifeblood of this game, by the way. Because, as you can see, you got to buy all your gear.
Cost of preparedness, measured now in gold. Later, in blood.
We are such a depressing individual. Anyways, you want to take different supplies depending on what region you're going to, but how long the quest is, your own preferences, but always do food and torches. Try bringing at least 8 food and 4 torches. Fuck that shit. I bring 16 every goddamn time because they're rather cheap and you don't want to be in the dark. Also, 12 food, because not only does it overcome the random event of hunger, it also overcomes the you can use as short-term healing in case you run low. Holy water, basically she gives you that, and anti-venom, he gives you that. These are items that your characters give you. And of course, there are other things too. There's a shovel, which I usually will get because obstacles are annoying, and a key, which can give you extra items or bypass traps. Basically a skeleton key, but this is all I'm going to do now. As you can see, that took us down almost 3,000. So wow, that's going to almost all the reward. So basically, we're scrounging for what we can get for a reward. So let us embark. All right, so this is when things pick up a little. Sorry, but as I'm recording this also for my tips and tricks, it's going to be a slower pace than anybody else who's actually out there, because it got an odd and void at the moment. Anyways, let's go. All right, so the ruins are a particular dungeon type that's usually big on cultists and undead. Her increased stress against undead is really not going to help. As you can see, this is the primary dungeon entrance. Now, what's going to happen is first we start at the entrance, and then we... Dude, stop centering, auto-centering on me. Then we... And then we basically have to check out all but one room, which means I'm probably going to bypass this one simply because I prefer to take a straight line. Backtracking takes time and torches and food. Yeah, being efficient is going to be important. Bust through the front door, and this is what our place looks like. Nice digs, huh? Why does he have a random alchemical equipment? Ah. Hey, I'm doing the talking here. You can't shush me. You're just a fictional character. Alright, grab it. So, torches. We're not going to run out in this particular adventure, but I'm going to put us up just to get that space back.
The path is clear. We require only the strength to follow it.
Alright, 2 bone buddies. Alright, dodge 0, speed 1, no really good special abilities. We're just gonna kill them. Kill them all. Alright, and cut you.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
If I stun you, you don't get to act. Stun...
May we find victory.
Now that's one of my favorite Vestal abilities because it not only stuns an enemy a good chunk of the time, it also increases the torch level. But as you notice, the Crusader has a 15 bonus as a bonus against Unholy with this ability.
Another one falls.
All right, take their pocket.
Victory, but a victory nonetheless.
Ooh, another shovel, a stun stone, another one I'll sell, and jade. The stones. It's money. It's just harder to carry because they separate. I would like it if there's just jewels. Alright, cool. Well,
The cold stone seems bent on preventing passage.
now the biggest thing about obstacles is not the... Hang on. Alright, so let's deal with enemy types. Bone ones are primarily attack, both edged and blunt, but the biggest issue is the cultist acolyte back here because she... which they're all female, she has the ability to add stress to our attacks. So any stress person that adds stress is going to be a problem because wounds disappear when you get back to the hamlet, but stress you drag with you. So you always target the stress dealer first. Oh, not stunned. Alright, so now we just shoot her. Still not enough. And there we go. Good dodge, good dodge. And we'll plague your ass. Right, plague grenade is going to be what I spam with this guy. In the meantime, just kill that guy. And, oh, you're killing me here, meat shield. And damage. I like the how he made. He's got a super huge dodge. All right, so just...
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
This is what she's going to be doing practically all game. Heal. Can't use grenade. Incise. Or I could heal myself. Oh, let's boost meat shield. It's moving too slow. Really too slow. Alright. Actually, let's zealous both of you, because you notice this is a 2 location ones. I like to say he's unleashing the power of his laundry wrist. Knives don't do much against bone. They don't bleed very well. And I will do party heal. Divine comfort. Boom. Now, one of the biggest issues of the game if you're, sorry, on the player side, is that, unfortunately, you don't get to heal in between battles. You have to do all your healing while you're battling. So you've got to heal. Timing your healing is one of the biggest strategies that wants to do so. Basically, if you can heal and you're not looking at major damage coming in, that's going to undo all those heals. Heal.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
Bust, another type of the heirlooms. Heirlooms, of course, are what you use to upgrade your hamlet. Hoping to actually get it to village status one day. And an empty room. These happen a lot. Scouting, you have a random chance of being able to determine what you want. Now, as you can see, I have the option of going to either curio battle or a treasure battle, and I'm going to choose a treasure battle because curios are always random as to what you could be getting. Treasure is just cash. This, by the way, indicates a curio, which is a random item, and this is a trap, which, at least if you can see the trap on the map, excuse me, you've got a chance of being able to do so. Now, this one's a pack. Just grab some stuff. And a key. My god, they're just giving me all the stuff I already bought. Insult to injury. Alright, surprise. Now, surprise, hang on a second. Sorry, had to check something. Anyways, surprise is a mixed blessing. Surprise means all your characters go before these guys, but it also means they all go at once, which can do some serious damage. I'm not actually huge on getting surprise as a tactic, but let's do our usual stuff. Stun. Again, go for... Now, if you know, she has a 25% stun resistance, and they all do, so there's no reason not to pick her, since she's the stress dealer. If you could hit the broadside of a barn. Plague your ass. I love the fact you can also, by the way, plague skeletons. So apparently you have a bone disease. You. Take it. Smite, of course, because it's a bonus against unholy. Smite the skeleton. Not enough, unfortunately. As you can see, we'll be taking it hard. And a miss. Good, because that's a bleed attack. And that's just a standard attack. Yeah, I'll take it. Alright, first things first, incision on you. Let's get you to bleed. Excellent. Get all of these damage over time on early so it can do some serious damage. Heal Damas. Shoot her. She'll probably would have died during her turn due to the blight, but I don't like taking any chances. Ugh, that looks bad. Rend for the old gods. The old gods are dead. They cannot save you. I think I can get... Boom.
Give them no quarter.
That is why I call them a meat shield.
This expedition at least promises success.
Alright, so against the heirloom chest, you always want the key. Because it has a hidden compartment that...
Glittering gold, trinkets and baubles.
I don't know why you...
Or in blood.
I'm sorry, Wayne June. I'm not going to interrupt you. But yeah, I don't understand why you put bandages in a secret compartment or first aid supplies really that important. Now, here's the deal. You've got Highwayman, I believe. Yep, 50% trap has the best trap disarming ability. And I usually like to be able to put the torch up if I know a trap is coming so I can see it better. Because not only... Coin flip, and he fails.
Possessed by evil intent.
No, they're neutral. Well, maybe. I don't know. This is Lovecraftian. You could have sentient steel that wants to kill you. And apparently we're in the wine cellar. Too bad it's all drained away. Just in case. As you can see, food does have a secondary ability. Besides just staving off hunger. Now, because we're doing pretty well, I'm going to backtrack enough to be able to handle that room and get the curio. What the hell are you good for, dude? Seriously. I think you're just hungry and you're getting yourself stuck so I can feed you more food. Oh, there she goes. Yeah, the lower the torch level, the more stress. That's why I'm boosting it up. Anyways, so... Oh, yeah. I hate the Arbalist. Basically, these guys are just Basically, will keep shooting you over and over again, spamming, so usually they're my first target for a stun. Good, so we can get rid of him. Now, open veins useless against skeletons, but target. If we can get rid of him, precision, kind of useless, but we will boost our boy. And hack and slash. All right. Well, at least the damage is getting distributed evenly. Good, I hate that guy. Alright, so heal you. And I accuse! Miss! Damn you. Well, he sucks at ranged. Oh, getting slammed on. Healing 1 point's not really useful. Give you +6 speed.
Inspiration and improvement.
Not really. We're kind of getting our ass kicked here. Party heal. Oh, just drop dead. Again. Oh, thank gods. More cash, at least.
Push on to the task's end.
Alright, since we're taking so much stress on her, let's use the Holy Fountain and get rid of some of that stress. Not sure what it's doing here, but yeah, we're going to double back. Now, sometimes you'll double back on yourself, you'll get ambushed now and then, especially if you have low light. So that could be an issue. Okie dokie. So now, next part, move to this room. Alright. Demis. Get some loot for me. Alright. Now, we have to choose what we're going to save and what we're going to do. So essentially, I'm just going to eat the food rather than to discard it. And of all of this, I'm probably just going to ditch the holy water. Because these are deeds, which are base building items, which you're going to desperately need. Speaking of which, of useful items. Alright, so yeah, that's a random event that if you don't have food will mess up your characters with giving them both damage and stress. Stress relief is the biggest thing. You know what? We're going to keep going. I want to see what's in here. An obstacle and treasure. Fortunately, we have that extra shovel we picked up, so this isn't going to be an issue. Screw it. Probably going to need...
The promise of safety.
No, I pressed the wrong button by accident. I thought... never mind me. I was an idiot. I'll pay for that later. Incision's kind of useless, so... boost him up. Heal everybody. A stress dealer. Basically, he throws cheap red wine at you and you get stress from it. I don't know how that works. Smite that one. Oh, gods, why? Ow. And ow. And ow. Lots of ow in this game. Let me try something here. Because I'm pretty sure... can get him. Boom. Crit hits will take off stress. Getting critically hit will add stress to everyone. It's not fair, but that's the rules. Blight me, baby.
A decisive pummeling.
Again, there's that crit hit. So boosting your crits is also good for stress relief. Oh, ow. Resist move, resist stun, which is good. Incision. Oh well, nice try. See if we can finish you off. The blight might do it. Yep, the blight will kill him because he'll take 4 damage next round. He only has 2 hit points left, if you notice down there on the right. Heal. Yep, spamming that ability is going to be your job.
Is the weapon that cuts on its own.
Now, stun his ass. Excellent. That means he can't move, which means that I am just going to unleash unholy hell on him. I'm going to have to get a non-bleed attack for these guys. Oh. I think it's his first kill.
Quirks.
Redead. Alright, so...
Success so clearly in view. Or is it merely a trick of the light?
Again, the hidden compartment and more stuff.
Could staunch the flow of otherworldly corruption.
Oh, so this is going to be kind of a minor disappointment. It looks like we're going to get much more than we put in, and we did get a bunch of, well, that's 750 there, and my god, we still have a shovel. Sometimes you never know what you're going to need, and if you're without it, everything hurts. Alright, so this is where it's really fun. Now, you're going to notice the experience level on this side, going up to level 1. All of them now level 1. These guys are approaching level 2. But this little shield will tell you what they get from it. These are quirks or benefits. So let's see what this has done to Meat Shield's mind. Early Riser, +2 speed, it scorches above 75. Given that he's also a Warrior of the Light, this synchronizes well if you can keep the light up. Now, Drivelin is obsessed manic for money. I can live with that. Early Rise, oh my god, this is a straight up high illumination party. And back to the hamlet.
The tents are pitched, banners fly, and the corpse wagons stand at the ready.
Oh, that's lovely.
The circus has come to town.
Phew. There's a circus for you. Okay, severe negative quirks. Over time, some negative quirks will lock into place and become severe. These severe negative quirks cost much more to move in the sanitarium. Here is a strategy point I'll be going over later, but quirk removal is blessed. Yeah, I don't have the Butcher DLC, so this is just basically an advertisement. To relieve 10 stress from all heroes. No. We've successfully completed our first foray into the ruins. Alright. So now all of these indicate that these two indicate that these locations, the stress relief ones, are now in play. But the first thing we do is we hit the stagecoach because we need to do replacements. As you notice, Dismas and Rammus's stress levels are halfway to breaking, so we're going to have to take them out. And Striveland would be taken out just two for a bit of safety, which means that we'd be without a healer the next round, which is going to be a little rough. So either I A, risk Ramsey's sanity, or B, try to do a low things as us. Now, these other ones are going to, of course, be added to our roster. Now, the Hound Master is one of my favorite classes. We'll go over it when I start statting him out. But Mr.
Warman and his faithful beast, a bond forged by battle.
I love dogs. Makel is a jester, which is an interesting class that has, if you play right, is awesome. I think I play it pretty good. And the Arbalist, basically your version of the Arbalist, who just keep
Bandage and pillage, the dancing steps of war.
And as we requested before, as I stated before, the stagecoach will be upgraded to 4. I will probably not make it any further. The barracks will be the next one to do, and then the experienced recruits when we have the ability, but we're going to have to actually do some serious upgrades to get to that point. And speaking of upgrades, let's talk about stress relief.
Cards and curtained rooms promise solace to the weary and broken alike.
Yeah, curtain rooms refers to a brothel, by the way. Stress relief. Heroes relieve stress taking part in tavern in the abbey. Each activity has different side effects. Experiment to find the best activity of each hero depending on their quirks. Take many hero locks in activity until the next week. You have to take a different hero with you on the next quest. Alright, so first of all, Dismas is going to drink his cares away. If I recall, he just can't gamble, so I can't use the gambling hall or the brothel. I can use the bar or the brothel here. I could also take him over to the Abbey and do it there. But before I do this, let's talk about upgrading. Now, the upgrade here allows me to increase the stress recovery to and that. In fact, what I'm going to be doing is increasing both the bar and one of the cheapest stress relief in the Abbey to allow me to do a lot better for a lot less. For example, I'm going to increase the stress recovery right off the bat. And
all manner of diversion and dalliance await those who cross the threshold with coin in hand.
It's a bar. We all know how it works. You go there when you're feeling bad. Now, I'm also going to reduce treatment costs by 15%. Now, my standard way of playing this game is to reduce treatment costs of everything from the top. So you basically start saving right away. So yeah, the bar, boom.
Strong drink, a game of chance, and companionship.
This allows me to put...
Rush of life.
Now, if you remember, when I put Dismas in originally, that was 1,000 coins. Now it's 850 with the investment of the... Now, later on, I'll be increasing the slots so we can do this more at once. I'll probably only increase the slots for the bar and the transept when we get to the Abbey, the cheaper ones, and then keep boosting up their stress relief. So basically, I can cheaply cycle these guys in and out because, like I said, resilience is the way you win this game. You don't have a lot of people and use them disposable. What you do is you go in and you basically create a versatile group of characters that can do virtually anything in any combination and can come back and heal fast. Now, Dismas is going to be drinking his cares away, but let's head over to the Abbey.
The cobwebs have been dusted, the pews set straight.
Oh, God.
The Abbey calls to the faithful.
Yeah, the caretaker is a pain in the ass, by the way, because he will occupy one of your stress things. It's one of the reasons I increase the stress right away. But there's really no point in me doing this unless I have the capacity. I think I do. Yep.
A man in a robe, claiming communion with the divine.
Now, the reason I'm doing this, by the way, is as I want to get these slots up to 2 and prevent this from happening again, rather than do so. What I'm going to temporarily do is you have to use the transit for Penance Hall. Now, I can't cheat with him. He's already... Oh, I forgot to lock him in. Hang on. Back to the tavern. All right, you go here and lock in for 850. You... Well, I might as well just do it here at this point. Let's see. Stress relief on Ramses. Oh, this is going to be a pain not being able to use her. Let's see. Buron, do you have... Yep. It's going to basic abilities. She has Battlefield Bandage as a potential skill, but I cannot unlock it this time. So yeah, however, she's a great synchronizing still with the Hound Master. Oh my God, these combinations are so messed up. When we get the ability to unlock skills, we are seriously gonna have to do this. In fact, what I'm probably gonna do shortly after I get the stress relief for Ramses completed. Yeah, if I've got to do the level 2, I might as well just do the transept to make it, have her sit there and pray. It's just in character. But this leaves us with this combination, which is going to have a pretty minor healer to begin with. This is going to be an interesting selection. I'm taking Meat Shield out again, even though I prefer to put him in for treatment for that. We don't have the ability to unlock that anyways. We're going to get rid of the Kleptomaniac immediately. So it's going to be Meat Shield and Striven, who we're going to have to basically pray we can keep him down, and 2 others. Now, the way to do this probably is going to be to put him in the number 2 position so we can use the Stunning Blackjack, and put her in the 3 position while keeping Striven in the 4 position. So in the meantime, however, we have both the Stun Stone and the Debuff Stone. So... Ugh. Do I really want to give Meat Shield 0 speed? Probably doesn't matter that much. Normally I would not use an ability that uses speed, but again, he's so pathetically low, I don't think it matters at this point. So this will increase his chance when he does his stun attack. Now the reason I'm not doing it for Columbus is his speed is 5. That actually would matter, because he has a stun attack as well. The other one is a debuff ability, which we do not in fact have much of. Decision, yeah. So yeah, looks like the party we're dealing with, and there's not much else we can do back here. So I guess we go back into the game. Here we go. Alright, so we're going to embark. Move him to position 4 as the healer. In position 2 for him, by the way, what has he got? Stout, 15% healing camp, and enlightened will only meditate. We'll get rid of that eventually because I hate being those limitation ones. If you have the attributes that deals with only not being able to do 1 or 2 stress reliefs, I don't care that much. I'll usually let that lock in. But if you have one that says you can only go to one location, and a caretaker's in the position, the guy's out for additional week. So usually we'll burn those off as well. Stress relief, remember, like I was saying, is your thing. Deadly, +2 critical, plus you have no melee skills. Ugh, it's so useless. Oh my god, 2 people enlightened? I can't even stress relief both of them at the same time. Yeah, this is going to get interesting. Any case, we're going to have, now we have the option of picking 4 abilities. Now, what I'm going to do, by the way, is since I'm recording this for upload, I'm going to pause for a second, stop this recording, and then move on to the next one. Okay, so if you're watching this after the fact, get ready for episode 2 to be uploaded relatively soon. Anyways, hang on a second.